been a while since I've updated here in the garden or the house. Tonight my daughter and I are out here working in the garden. I've got a whole bunch of peas that I hung from this tree so that they could dry. So I'm just out here collecting peas. Hazel's playing in the grass. My hands are all green because I was trimming tomatoes. Actually, these can wait. They're just gonna get drier. I'll show you what's going on with the tomatoes. So as you can see here, they have completely taken over. And when I got home from work today, they were like flopped over in the back. So I pulled one of the cages back up with an old broom handle that I broke recently. And I trimmed off a whole bunch because this thing was just overtaking and shadowing out. There's a whole plant back there that you can't even see. This is 3 plants here. 1, 2, and 3. This one flopped over, did not even remotely stay in its cage. And then there's 2 behind it. They're growing into the raspberries and shading them out, which I'm not too concerned about the raspberries this year because they're coming from our neighbor's yard. So no doubt there will be more if those get shaded out to the point they die. I do this every year. I overplant, I plant too closely, and my husband hates my method of planting. I love it. I love the wildness. I love having to dig for my produce. Like, oh, I thought I saw something red back there. Let me go find it. So, got a decent amount of fruit here. And then of course I've got marigolds planted throughout, basil, which has gone to seed, and I'm letting it go to seed. I've really picked as much as I want for this year at least. And then I've got nasturtiums and zinnias in the back. These raspberries though have been producing great, this one bush, because this is an older bush. And then what I thought was raspberries here, it's actually blackberries. And it's loaded with fruit that's going to start ripening here in about a month or so if the heat keeps up. Strawberries finally came back. They were dying off a little bit. And my bee balm, it's not as showy. It's getting a little hot during the day. I think the highest we've gotten so far this year is like 110. And that's like in the city. So out here it's maybe like 105. But everything's growing really well, not as I expected, which I think is par for the course of having a garden. Nothing grows as you want it to. This garden bed here, I've got sunflowers growing from last year. My beans in the back are not doing what they should. They are oriental yard-long beans. They should be so tall, and they're like growing onto themselves to the point that they're not actually like growing upwards. And then we just watered, so everything's coming back to life. But look at this that came up. It was a volunteer. I don't remember planting it. I've got this gorgeous zinnia, and it's got lots of little buds coming up. So it's nice and wild. I think this is either melon or loofah gourd. It's not going to get big enough to produce this year. Pepper wise, I've got a pepper down there, and then I've got one shishito pepper like that actually is decent. These ones are well, actually I'm questioning if that's a shishito now. Actually, I think this is called a dragon's toe. Hold on. Yeah, shishito, smaller, still wrinkly. Dragon's toe, much larger. What's that? Bell pepper that I grew, not doing nothing, not to be surprised. This one is another shishito, so I guess it is doing a little something something. So back to my peas. So far this year, we've harvested a ton of blueberries and raspberries just for eating. We sure don't get enough for preserving or anything, but it makes a good breakfast for me and for my daughter. And I like that she can come out here and freely pick on stuff. That being said, she did eat all of our strawberries before they were ripe. So we are having to teach her that she can't just pick everything. It has to be ready to be picked. But But I've harvested lots of herbs, tea herbs, raspberry leaves, culinary herbs. I ended up preserving a bunch of marigolds and nasturtiums, and I'm gonna make either like herbal remedies with it, or with the nasturtiums, I think I'm doing nasturtium salt. That'll be a nice little spicy salt. Because if you don't know, nasturtium's totally edible, super spicy. I am like a wimp when it comes to spice, and they pack a good peppery punch, like hits you in the back of the throat sort of thing. But I'm pretty pleased with how the garden's coming along, considering I'm neglecting it in favor of the house, which, as you can see, my porch is still a disaster. That has not changed. We are getting family out here tomorrow with a truck to help us haul all of that to the dump trailer, because we didn't want to bring the dump trailer out to the house until the appliances are put in, because we'll have all those big cardboard boxes. But that's another month out. Countertops are a whole freaking month out. But appliances will be here in a week, so that's exciting. But the fact that they can't be installed until after the countertops are in is kind of a bummer. It's just this process is a lot longer than I anticipated. I feel like every DIY project person has said that, like, oh yeah, it's more expensive than we thought, and it's taking much longer than we thought. And like, yeah, very true. So these guys got a whole bunch of greenery and dried stuff. Hi. Oh yeah, speaking of chickens, I rehomed Gladys. I'll insert a picture of her. She was, her and her sister were the first two chickens I got. Tough decision, but she was super noisy. Ever since we had the rooster and got rid of him, she felt it was her job to alert everyone, get them riled up for the day. Like, she would see me through the window and start her little, like 5:30, 6 in the morning. And I just couldn't have that. It was very, like, sad. I couldn't come out and hang out with them in the mornings before work like I wanted to. So I found a very nice home for her. So I thought, this lady from another town over, she's like, my husband's always wanted a silkie. She looks super nice. We want a chicken that will hatch out eggs. I'm like, oh, she is the hen for you. She's super broody. She's hatched out 3 clutches for me. She'll be a great fit. I don't even know how I have this in this tree here. Got it. Yeah, so I was like, listen, she's gonna be a great fit. You can have her for free if you come pick her up today. And the lady came and got her. Well, she texted me like 4 hours later and said, hey, got some really horrible news for you. About 40 minutes after we got home, loved on her, put her in the coop, she somehow got out and got eaten by their lab. And I didn't know how to feel. My husband's like, if you're gonna cry, just cry. And I didn't feel like crying because I had already disassociated her as like, I'm getting rid of her. She's someone else's chicken now. But then to find out she died on, oh, I just realized my mascara is all over the place. What? It's kind of crappy, not gonna lie. Because if I had known that was gonna be her fate, I wouldn't have gotten rid of her. I would have found, well, I guess I would have, I don't know. It's whatever, it happens. And the lady was like super heartbroken, and she super apologetic to me, which I'm like, she's your chicken now. So yeah, I am down 1 chicken, but my others are laying eggs now, so that makes up for any and all the heartbreak I feel. So I'm just out here checking on the rest of this stuff. Hey everyone, Editing Danica here. Sorry for such the abrupt end in the video. I filmed this about a month ago and I didn't realize that I did not end off the video. So that is all I have for today. Catch me in the next video for a well overdue garden update. Have a great day.